What's up, guys? Jeff with Top Star Mobile Detailing, Las Vegas. We are here in San Diego at the KCX Koch Chemie training experience. I'm here with my guys, Joel and Sal from Details Official. Met up with them at the training. And tell us like a little bit about what your involvement is with the training. I'm out here just actually taking the training. This is the first time for me, but I know you guys have been involved with this before. So what's kind of your role in the training?
Yeah, so our role in the training is we're pretty much going to be talking about the business portion and the operation side of detailing and incorporating the KCX product line into our business. As you've kind of got as everybody gets a basic understanding of the system, because it is a true system, we've become big fans of the KCX systems because we were able to incorporate it into our business, and it really helps with a lot of the operational side as far as the efficiencies, the time management. It basically just cut down a lot of labor for us, so It was kind of right in our wheelhouse. And it affected everything directly, all of our analytics, all of our costs, all of our income, as well as just the amount of labor that we're putting on our bodies. So anything that's going to give us an advantage, especially when you reach a certain point in your detailing career, where it's kind of like you're at a point where like, okay, I've been doing this for a long time. The repetitiveness has gotten my technical skill to a certain point, and my organization has gotten me to a certain point also. And now any little increment of change really matters, and for us, we've done so much in our detailing career where it's like, okay, we got to keep pushing. Like, we got to find that next thing that's going to really make us that much better. And KCX was actually a nice chunk of an advantage that we started to see, and we've incorporated it into our business, and we just absolutely love it. And KCX invited us out to do this portion of the business since it's been so highly integrated in our business, and we can speak about it to other detailers how it can be an advantage to them if they choose to use the system the way that it's presented throughout the training.
Yeah, I thought it was really informative. How they went over everything with the proper dilution ratios, and I think a lot of detailers don't realize how cost effective it can actually be if you're diluting the products correctly. A lot of people have this idea in their head that this product line is really expensive compared to other brands, but if you're actually diluting it properly to the right ratios, it actually works out to a lower cost than most products out there. So it's pretty cool.
Cents. We're talking cents.
Cents,
yeah. It's literally cents that you're spending per detail. Yeah. Like I think Josh V, who's out here with us as well, he's hosting. He's done videos on the cost breakdown, like per interior, and it's 7 cents.
Yeah.
Per you're using the Green Star and Polestar system, it's 7 cents per vehicle. So it's really hard to beat that. And if you're using any of the product, how long it stretches. I've had liters that last me longer than some gallons from other companies that we've used in the past. And,
for sure.
That consistent results for us, and the level of quality in the products it's apparent. And so it's kind of, we're at the point where it's like we're at a disadvantage if we're not using it.
Yeah. I've been using pretty much most of their products since I started. And I've had really great results with their products. I can't really name anything that I've used from them that I've had a bad experience with. So it's all been really like high quality. It was really interesting learning about the different pH scales too. Like, I had a general understanding of that before, but to really go in depth of like how the acidic or alkaline all stacks up and how they're all color coded, I found that was like really cool about the product as well.
What makes Koch Chemie, I guess, I'll put it compared to others, the bad part about it, like Koch Chemie sets the bar high. So now when anything comes out with another chemical from another line, I'm always just looking like, this is very hard to understand compared to Koch Chemie. Like I'm spoiled now.
Yeah, and it seems there's definitely a learning curve with
Yeah.
the Koch Chemie, and I've heard a few comments yesterday where people were kind of like, okay, I'm still trying to understand.
They're
Like,
intimidated a little
yeah,
bit, yeah.
it's like, what does this mean? Like
Yeah.
your labels, it doesn't even have the full name on it. It's just like these 2 letters,
Yeah.
and then you have a number here. Like, what is all
Periodic table.
exactly? And it's like,
Yeah.
what is this? So I think it's one of those. It's truly a system, and once you understand the system, everything is done based off of condition. So you see the condition that you're approaching, what type of vehicle you're working on, and then you're able to, with the experience with the line, you're able to say, okay, I need to go here, here, and here, and I'm good, and I know these are going to hold it down. And for us, we've eliminated a lot of the guesswork, and like you said, you've been using it since you started, so you haven't had bad experiences with it. We've had a lot of bad experiences with a lot of other brands, and we give every brand a shot. And as you know, when you have a YouTube channel, a lot of people send you stuff. A lot of people want you to try things,
Yep.
and we wanted to take a lot of advice from people that we would, that would give us comments, but every time we would try to use something, it just wasn't hitting our standard, or it would be problematic for us. And
Yeah.
we end up spending more time fixing the issue that occurred, whether it be streaking from a SiO2 spray, whether it's, a certain type of towel that didn't last as long, or, maybe a ceramic coating that didn't perform as well as somebody, thought. So I think it's important for every detailer to really experience things on their own
Yeah.
before, and really understand that there's levels of things, because I tried everything from the cheap, very, very, low level, very economic type of chemicals that are, that were affordable because maybe we were doing fleet washes or something where it wasn't something where it had to be super, it wasn't a delicate vehicle we're working on. But then I've used stuff where it's, extremely expensive, but I know it's going to perform every single time. And now it's kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, well, just using the expensive stuff that performs all the time sometimes
Yeah.
is just a better choice overall. It just saves you the headache, the time, the fatigue, the labor. So, but I think Koch Chemie falls right there where standard, quality, and price actually hit the mark. And I think we're, as detailers that strive for a certain standard, like yourself, average is the enemy. Like you're not trying to do what everybody else is doing. You want to exceed. You have a different level of expectation, and something like this really helped us kind of get our game to where it's like, it was a good feeling. Like, okay, somebody in the industry understands what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it. And you kind of, when you have that support from other detailers that understand that, it's like, okay, now I can call upon, you guys and say, hey man, how's it going with this? Or, like, oh man, you got to try this. This thing is killer. And you guys, and everybody kind of understands, okay, we all have the same standards now, so we can all kind of have the same expectations, or when we're recommending stuff through that network.
I like that you guys have always seemed to be like transparent on your channel too. Like if you don't like something, you voice your opinion on that. You're not just kind of like going along with whatever's trending and popular, Maybe you guys had this same scenario, but I've had a lot of people reach out to me and be like, hey, why don't you come up with your own label, your own product line? And, how do you feel about that white labeling of the kind of generic
I think
renegade products, or whatever, where there's all the same bottle, the same sprayer,
same
just a
smell,
different logo on the bottle, but it's the best thing out there. How do you guys feel about that?
It's like a bittersweet type deal. I can't never hate on someone that's getting their money. That's about their business. All I can say on that, like, it's not for us to be part of have your own chemical line. Who knows? But at least not right now. There's got to be something different. Like talked about KCX. Like they set the bar up here. If we're gonna come out with our own line, it's got to be up here. That can't be no running the pack. Your everyday product.
Yeah, and I think it's a progression that people assume is going to take them somewhere by, okay, I'm a detailer now, or I have a YouTube channel, or I have some popularity. Let me start a line. And people are going to buy it, and it's going to be more money, and it's going to be... But now you're talking, okay, that's a whole nother business. And as we see, most people will try to start a line and then it fizzes out or it just doesn't do anything because
it's a generic product.
Yeah, there's nothing
Yeah.
special about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's, so it's, for us, we don't want to, I think that could just tarnish a reputation, especially if you spent so much time. I know you have, I know we have.
Yeah.
Like, our word and our reputation is everything. If you make a product and it comes out and it's just crap, like, what is that doing for your how is that
Yeah.
representing you? Is that hurting your business? You know, you might make a little bit of change at first, but then what's going to happen? The reviews are going to come out. People are going to start talking
Yeah.
about it. They're like, it's just the normal stuff. And then there goes Top Star, there goes Details. Like, we don't
Yeah.
trust those guys
Yeah.
anymore. You know,
Yeah,
so
I refuse to prostitute out my brand to
Yeah.
companies that, reach out to you and they want to pay you to say, say this about their product
Yeah.
or this. And, I'm like, I'll try it out and I'll review it, but it's going to be an honest review of whatever I think. And, if you're willing to go down that road, we could see where it goes. But I'm not going to fluff up something just because, I'm being paid to do that.
and some of them can make it enticing. They try to make it enticing.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
A lot of for getting your own line, coming out with that, that's a lot of other folks is their measure of success.
Yeah.
If you have your own line, you made it. We don't think
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah,
in that sense. It's a status type thing. Like, I made it.
Yeah.
I made it to the NFL now.
Because you're making crap. Yeah, it's like you're not like it's. I think the actual the pursuit of making it, I think, is where they feel the success. Like, okay, I've done this. Like, I have my own product now, and a lot of that also there's ego involved in that.
Yeah,
for
sure.
you can tell there's ego involved in that.
Like, if you came out with the line, it'd be like, Top Star made it. He has his own line now. That's what a lot of people would
Assume, yeah,
That's
that
the
are
only,
not.
only way I do it.
Yeah.
That's the only way I do
Yeah.
it. But even that, it's like, you look at Pan, and he came out with his own line, and it kind of got mixed results on everything. You could still be at the top, and there's going to be people that are.
Oh yeah, and again, like the reputation, it
Yep.
can hurt reputation.
Yeah.
Like Pan had backlash. There's people. We interviewed Pan after the release and talked to him. Like, we really wanted to see, as we were more concerned as an individual, like, how did that affect you?
Yeah.
Because obviously you've put a lot of work and effort into this. It wasn't one of those just like, I'm gonna go and whatever. He did Pan does a lot of
Sure.
research, and he takes his time.
It's
and,
not white labeling with their stuff.
he
It's
likes
all-
to represent himself well. He
Yeah.
knows he's been doing it for a long time. So regardless of what everybody's opinion is, you can't take the work away that he's put in to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're always here to, we don't, people sometimes think that we're controversial or we just trash stuff. It's like, we're pretty much just putting out content that we're seeing throughout the industry.
Yeah.
Like, we can't control what other people are doing. If a detailer does something or posts something that's just, ridiculous, or it's just like bad training or bad ethics or bad like business principles, stuff like that, really, like, I take that to heart. I'm like, okay, now you're making the industry look bad.
Right.
So this needs to be attention needs to be brought to this, so other guys coming out are not thinking, okay, that's cool for me to do, because it's like, it's messing up the game for all of us. Like, that's a representation of detailers in general. So I don't want to be associated with it. I know you don't. I know you want to be. We want to be looked upon and raise the standard, and we want our industry to be viewed completely different, and that's not the way. So we touch upon topics like that, and we do see that, the generic products being pumped out and stuff. And is it really doing anybody any good? Is it doing the industry any good? It's debatable.
Just kind of flooding the market with more junk.
With
really.
more junk, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you see
Making
the guys.
it more confusing for people, like with all too many options.
Yeah,
out there, really.
and then everything is
They
like
all do the same thing.
yeah.
If you're a detailer, you're getting confused. You shouldn't be a detailer. I think that's more
Yeah.
for the consumer. I would
Well,
say.
more so for the newbies, I think,
Yeah,
that are just
yeah,
coming into it.
It
that
could
are
be
like-
overwhelming if you're a newbie.
Yeah, and
Like-
especially if you've got someone that you kind of follow a little bit, and now they're pushing a product, and you're like, well, I like that detailer, and try out their stuff.
And the dangerous part about that is, like, the newbies who are trying to do this for a career, it's like, that's like draining resources from them.
Yep.
It's taking their, you know how valuable your time is when you're
Yep.
first starting
And
out.
your money.
And your money.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, okay, well, I'm gonna buy this whole line because it just came out and they're saying they're the best.
Yep.
And then you try it and you're not happy with it. Okay, well, this new line, because you're looking for that magic
Yeah.
potion that's
Yeah.
gonna fix everything,
Yeah.
and you just have to realize it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Your technical skills have to develop over time. You need to network with people. You need to build your reputation. You need to take the proper trainings. You need to understand what it is you're doing. You know, you need to conduct yourself as a business person. Those are the things that are really going to make you
Yeah.
thrive. So it's we're just here to kind of help guide people through that journey, because we hate to see people start their business, put all the effort in, put all the risk in, put, sacrifice like time away from their family, take the risk, and then all of a sudden, because some idiots out there trying to sell you stuff, you're buying into it, or you get involved with this program or the ceramic coating like contract that you got to buy 10 bottles every month, and you think that's what you need as a detailer.
Yeah.
Or you're just processes crazy because you're watching all these YouTubers saying, oh, you got to do this wash, and then you got to do this wash, and this wash. It's like, that's not really how you make money.
Yeah.
And that hurts businesses, and they end up struggling or quitting before they give themselves an opportunity because of false information out there. So
Sure.
it's a big problem in our industry,
So where are you trying to go with the channel now? I know you're shifting a little bit more from actual like detailing videos into more like podcast type scenarios. Like kind of what's your goal with the Details Official channel?
Well, we stepped heavily into the training and development space with our consulting. So now we're actually traveling consulting. We have people coming to us consulting. We're doing everything from space optimization to warehousing, inventory, analytics, anything that's going to help process improvement, anything that's going to help the detailers or the companies get more efficient in order to make more money and to continue to improve their business, whether they're trying to scale, whether they're scaling down, whether they're restructuring, whatever their goals are, we're there to accommodate and help. But as of now, for the channel specifically, we're going through our U.S. tour. So, right now we're in San Diego. Next month we'll be in Utah.
The U.S. tour. That sounds important.
Yeah. So next month we're going to be Salt Lake City. Then the following month we're going to get out to Chicago. Then we're trying to get out to Philly. So
Wow.
then we're going to go to the East Coast. So and we're interviewing some of the biggest people in the industry.
Making the rounds.
Yeah, and we're talking to them about specifics when it comes to the detailing industry, not necessarily the run-of-the-mill type of interview, like, oh, where did you start?
Sure.
For us, that stuff is not we're interested in the business side, how people got to where they were, how people got to where they are, also what they had to endure to get there, because I think a lot of people don't understand what they're in for when they start doing this. As you know, it's a lot of hard days. It's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of people don't understand you, or you just don't have that support from the get-go, in a lot of cases. So we like to be there for a lot of these guys. A lot of these trainings that we attend, we like to connect with the people that kind of, you can tell, just need that extra support. They need that encouragement. They need that motivation and they need somebody to rely on to know, like, okay, I've been here before. I've done this, because it can be an intimidating thing, going and seeing other established detailers. You never know. We were talking to an individual yesterday who was rinsing off the car, and he's like, I was so nervous just rinsing off the car in front of all of you guys. He goes, I've done this 100 times, but I'm rinsing it off, and I'm like, I hope nobody's like looking at me like, what is this guy doing? But we've been in that position too.
And I give them credit too. It takes a lot of courage to step out of your comfort zone, to break out and actually, for one, to make the commitment to spend the money to come to the training, not really having the experience, and then to get up in front of people and do that. I think a lot of people, they have problems or like roadblocks that they run into in their business, and some people just kind of like shut down when they hit those type of scenarios, where if you look at that more as like an opportunity, like a catalyst that can like help push you forward and help you grow and progress and expand, so sometimes problems aren't really a bad thing, when I first started, I thought like, oh man, now I got to deal with this. But you realize over time, like that's what helped you grow and become the version of yourself that you are. It helped you level up
Oh
your
yeah,
business.
it definitely. That's where the growth is coming in. Where you know that those times where things don't go right. You know,
Yep.
like Sal always says, it's not. What's the quote? You say it better.
It's not the things that happen every day that's going to kill you. It's the things that don't happen every day.
Yeah, and if you can't handle those and you don't know how to get through those, you know, everybody knows how things go when it goes good.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you going to handle the adversity when something comes your way that you're not expecting,
Yep.
or something comes your way? We've all been in positions.
It
where-
happens all the time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, all the time.
Like in this business,
Yeah.
something's gonna happen every day, every week,
Yeah.
every month, and
Yeah.
you know, it's how you deal with those situations. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen.
It's going to
when
happen.
and how
are you gonna handle
process
it?
and how you adapt to it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we've found ourselves in a lot of situations, and you know, over time, your experience will get you through all those situations. And when you come to trainings like this, it's kind of like you're getting that information beforehand, because how many of these guys are just starting? Like
Yeah.
if we would have came to something like this real early, like geez, just being able to have access to somebody who's been detailing for 15, 20 years,
Yep.
to call up and say, hey man, I'm going through this right now. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, don't stop what you're doing. Do this. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
time, headache, energy, frustration, money that you don't have to spend to get the result and to get the answer.
Yeah.
So
It's like collapsing like decades of learning into days,
Mm-hmm.
basically, you know. And I don't know about you, but I enjoy it when I get those calls. Like I like giving back and helping like the newer detailers. It's very like fulfilling for me to you know, I reflect back on my journey and when I was in their shoes at that stage where it was like, hey, like I just wanted to reach out to people and like give me some advice, you know, and now to be on the other side of that as more of like a mentor role, it's really nice. You know?
I think we all, no matter what industry you're in, and no matter what your style is, or your level of experience, I think whenever you're able to help somebody, I think it's very important that you give that, you pay that forward, you give that
Yeah.
back, because that's something that helps everybody. It's a great feeling for you personally for doing that. Like there's a feeling of, you know, there's nothing better than giving somebody a gift.
Yeah.
And with watching your channel, watching how you speak, how you solve your issues that you're dealing with, you're gonna get more of those phone calls, because that's what you put out there, and people like that energy, man. So you have the energy that people are missing, that some people maybe look up to as a mentor, as a father, as an older brother. So it's not stopping anytime soon. So good for you, man.
Yeah. So get another phone.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think, you know, a lot of the happiness too, like a lot of people out there are struggling with like happiness right now and trying to find what makes them happy. And I think they get caught up, like hung up on focusing too much on the end goal of like where they want to be, and they're not there yet. And it's, for me, like one of the things that I've learned over my journey is it's more like on that path of progress is kind of where you find the happiness, right? It's making the little steps of progress like along the way, because you know there's a lot of people out there that they strive to get to that goal, and then it's like once they get there, once they get the thing, you know, the fancy house or the mansion or the car,
they're not fulfilled.
they're good for a few days, they're happy, and then they're like, man, I'm not that happy about it anymore. You know,
it's definitely the challenge and then the achievement for us. It's like, okay, we set a goal, we're pursuing the goal, we're at the goal, we achieved the goal, we exceeded our goal. Like
And
for
then you
us,
come up with a new goal.
and then
Yeah.
it's a constant progression in whatever area we're doing. Maybe
Yeah.
you know, if you guys followed us from the beginning, you saw the YouTube channel from where it was and then the direction that we're in now.
Yeah.
That was something that we had to take on personally and said, okay, well, we're gonna do this on our own now. This is how we have to do it. Like we want to go in a direction that we want to do, and we don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
We got to figure this shit out. We don't know how to do any of this stuff. And
Yeah.
that's how it was when I started details. It's like, how are we going to do this? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. But I grew and developed so much just by learning.
Yeah.
I think if you want to be successful in anything, you have to be prepared to be almost to the point of like obsession,
Yep.
to where it has to consume you. Like it really, truly has. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh man, I hustle, I work hard. It's like, Okay, well, what are you doing at 11 o'clock every night? Or what are you doing at this time? I know what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm getting better at that time. I'm up at 4 a.m. working out to get our day done. You
Yeah.
know, like, what are you really giving it all you have?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what people don't realize. It's the shit that's being done outside of the job that's really, really making you better. And I think a lot of people aren't willing to do that,
Yep.
to sacrifice that much, you know?
They want the view without the climb.
Exactly. So it's when they don't get it, it's kind of like, oh, well, I'm working hard. It's like, you are, but you're just working hard to be subpar, to be where everybody else is. You're not going to exceed because you got to do a little bit more. Like everybody here, you know, everybody from the person behind the camera is working hard. You know, we have Josh
Race?
V. Yeah. He's okay. He works. We got Josh V in there.
We just woke him up back there, yeah.
Josh V hosting the show, you know, hosting the training. He's, you know, he's an influencer. He still details. He has his retail shop.
Yep.
You know, he's working. Like he's working a lot. Like these people that you're around coming to stuff like this, it's motivating and it shows like, hey, okay, well, it's just being around a lot of like-minded, motivated people.
I guess that's what I was trying to say is not so much the end goal, but the routines and your daily habits that get you to like that end goal, right? It's like everyone wants to be like in shape and have six-pack abs and stuff, right? But you know, what are you doing as far as what are you eating? How's your diet? Do you get in the gym? How many hours do you put in? How many reps do you put in? And it's the same thing with like your business, right? It's what are you doing on that daily business to take it to the next level? And are you setting up those habits and routines that are going to get you to the end goal?
Yeah, it always comes down to discipline.
Yep.
That's what we tell everybody. It's like, how disciplined are you? Because discipline has to come from within.
Yep.
It's easy for you to do a job, or it's easier to do a job when you have a direct superior telling you what you need to do, when you need to do it, and that's your livelihood.
Yep.
But when you're doing it on your own,
You gotta
and
have that
you
little,
gotta have
little
a
voice,
you
little
have
superior up here.
Yes, who's telling you, okay, it's time to get up. It's time to go to the gym. It's, you know, we're both exhausted. We've came in, flew in, came here, probably off of a work day. Got to go back to work. Training is exhausting. They're long days. You know, we went to dinner last night. Okay, well, we got to get up at
we're
now.
up
We're
at
up.
5:30
We're
in the
up.
morning
Yes,
doing
I was
this.
up at
Yep.
5 o'clock.
Yep.
We're doing this before breakfast and before we head out to the training. It's
Yep.
like there's people that you can rely on and you know who are going to be there to do that type of shit. And those are the people that I want to surround myself with, because those are the people that are going to make me better. Those are the people that are going to encourage me to keep staying on my path. And those are people that are going to like really just you want those people in your network and in your circle. It's like, that's the type of person I trust. I know their business is going to be we can tell how somebody's business is operating just based off of how a person presents themselves, how they speak, how they communicate, how they, you know, a lot of motivational speakers and stuff now, like they talk about, okay, are you, if somebody is fit, obviously they have created standards for themselves. You know, it's a difficult thing to do. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Most people don't love it, but it's pivotal. It's a starting point for your disciplines and for your lifestyle to change, because you aren't in control of that.
It's not about your feelings, right? It's not how you feel. It's
No.
There's a job to be done, and there's responsibilities, and it doesn't matter if
Everything else is irrelevant.
Yeah, right.
Everything else is irrelevant. None of it
no
even
one
matters.
cares if you feel tired,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So put your feelings aside
Yeah.
and just do
Get through
what
it,
needs to be
and
done.
that's it. That's it.
When you get those phone calls, is some advice. What we learned is people need to hear that. Hey, man, no one cares.
Yeah.
People don't have that for folks to tell them that.
Yeah.
People need to hear that.
Yeah.
And no one cares.
And usually that's when we get the biggest result, and we get the biggest reactions of like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I needed somebody to tell me that. Nobody has ever, because, you know, some people they don't have somebody that's there to
Hold
say,
them accountable.
Yeah, to help, you know, to say, hey, look, you're not doing that right. And luckily, I have my brother here to say, hey, no, we shouldn't be doing that, or maybe that's a bad decision, or you shouldn't do that. Like, don't jeopardize this for this. Some people don't have that. Or, hey, suck it up, let's get through this. let's just finish this. Like, there's no reason to be getting, I could get frustrated with, we all can get frustrated through things. Bad days happen, So if you're disciplined, you can get through pretty much anything because that disciplined part of your mind kicks in. It's like, okay, the motion is off to the side. Who cares how I feel? Who cares what the situation was before? We're no longer in that time. Now it's the present. Let's get it done. Let's work through this, Whether it's, it could be your mobile rig breaking down, your shop lease expiring and you not knowing where you're going to have to move or whatever. Or maybe you're going through stuff in your personal life.
Yeah.
Can you adapt and work through that and control a business? Because people don't realize that the mental strain is crazy too,
Speaking of discipline and mental strain, I know you guys just both recently completed a fast a pretty long fast that you were on too, right? Wasn't it like, how long was it? Over a week? Right?
Yeah, I did 5 days, and I think Sal, how many
I
did
did
you do?
6.
Yeah, we did 6
So,
days.
what made you guys decide to do that? Was that just to kind of test
A few reasons.
yourself on it? Or?
Beginning of the year, eating nasty through the holidays, I just felt nasty. We both felt nasty.
Yeah.
Number 2 is that's part of the goal that we had going into 2025 to make our health better. So we like to start off with the fast, get all the nasty stuff out, and third, like we talked about, discipline. It's
To see if you
just
can get through it. Yeah.
I know I could do it. I did it before, but it's always tough. It never doesn't get easier.
Yeah.
It's just like waking up, going to the gym at 4 o'clock. It's never fun. It's never easy.
Did you have a set endpoint at it, or were you good to kind of just taking it day to day?
I was doing I think I was going to do a minimum of 5. I'll do a minimum of 5, and after that, we'll see where it goes.
Because that's what makes it really, like, if you don't know when the end point's going to be, right? It's like if I said, hey, we're going to run a half marathon, right? At least you know in your head, we got 13 miles, we're getting close. But if I just said, hey, we're going to go for a run, and then we just keep running and running and running, I don't tell you when the end point is, you're going to be like, shit, I'm like, am I going to be running like for another hour, another 2 days? Like, when does this end?
Yeah,
And
for us, the fasting, it'll it's not the first time we've done it. This is the longest water fast I've ever done. I've done the juicing and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is the longest water fast because we intermittent fast every day, so that kind of makes it easier.
Yeah.
If we are going to do
Build
a
up
long,
a little.
like 24 hours is nothing. The 48, 72, the detoxing starts.
Yeah.
Once you get past that detoxing, you're usually golden. You have all the energy. The mental clarity for me is probably the biggest advantage that I see coming out of a fast. I feel like the focus is just like razor sharp. So I had a lot of stuff that I needed to take care of at the beginning of the year. We're setting our goals. We're setting, we're planning our schedule. We're trying to figure things out. Like what directions is details going this year. 2024 was really big for us. 2025 is going to be even bigger. Like we've set some pretty big goals, and for us to stay on track with them, I said, you know what? I need the clarity, the mental clarity to be able to focus on this and figure out how we're going to do it in a way where it's not going to affect business, where it's going to be impactful, and where we're going to really put a stamp on what we want to do in the industry and touch and help a lot of people.
what would you say your top 2 or 3 goals would be for 2025?
2025, to reach as many people as possible as far as with our mission, to really level up the standard of the detailing industry, for everybody. We want to challenge people to be better at whatever it is they're doing, whether that's conducting a training, whether that's, and this is for everybody from detailers to manufacturers, distributors, brand ambassadors, everything. Like, represent your stuff well. There's, like you said, there's a lot of crap out there. There's a lot of stuff that's just garbage. I think it's time for us as people in the industry to look at that and say, we're not going to tolerate that anymore. Like, we don't want that representing us as detailers. We want to be professionals. So what direction is that taking us in? Make the right choice to be a professional, conduct yourself as a professional, associate yourself with professionals a little bit more. So I think that's the overall goal. But through that, number 2 is we want to get out and and support those who support us a little bit more. You know, Koch Chemie supports us in a way that's they understand what we're doing, and they're really grateful for what we're doing in the industry. And for us, we want to return that as well.
Yeah.
There's been times in the past where we didn't feel supported, where we were supporting others, and it's not that we're looking for anything in return. It's just we're learning that you have to find what's in alignment with what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, in business in general, whether that's the individuals that you're developing relationships with, where do you want to invest your time, your efforts? Just like with clients, you want to be where you're valued. So there's a lot of people that we value in the industry, and we want to highlight them also, because it's not like we're the only ones speaking about how we feel in the industry. There's other guys that we feel it's important to talk to that maybe were like a wave before us, that a lot of the detailers that are working right now don't really know too much about, that had great philosophies, great startings, great understandings. And I think we're going to highlight those guys that are kind of pioneers in the industry, that have done things and kind of created the pathway for what's here now.
Yeah.
You know, so that I would say that those are our main priorities for 2025.
What about personally, like within your actual detailing business? Do you have any?
Yes,
plans to
for
grow that?
2024, as far as measurables, we cut out labor 2024 18%. So we want to double that. You know, the less time we're having labor, that's more time we get to have with our families, actually more into the business. So things like that, we're cutting costs, cutting supply costs. Those are all things that we have go to double going into 2025.
Yeah.
Is it just you two that do all the work as far as the detailing go, or do you have guys that help
It's
out
us
with work?
too, but we have a team of other people that back us. We have
Like subcontract out to, or
Yeah, we have a few people that we have, like, as far as like design team, with any kind of merch, branding material, anything like that. We have designers that we work with. I do the art direction. We have designers, and then we have printers and stuff that we're releasing a line of merch. So we have a team of that. We also have a network team of other people in the auto industry that we rely on for other things too. So there's pretty much we're developing teams and kind of gathering folks that are trying to be a part of this. And we're gonna have a film crew soon, and it's just getting bigger, and as things open up more, as more opportunities open up, and we kind of find the pathway for details of where we want to go. Because right now we've learned we have to keep it very fluid, because you may set an expectation for something, but then you may fall into somewhere where there's a heavy need.
Yeah.
Like we always did the consulting, but now the consulting is like crazy. Like we never thought we were going to we thought we were going to consult for detailers, but now we have manufacturers that are like, okay, you guys have a background in warehousing, analytics, logistics. We can utilize you here. So there's been a lot of partnerships and a lot of stuff that we've helped with businesses outside of the actual detailing operation that have been very. It's been collaborative efforts, and it's been really exciting.
So as you two move more into those roles of like working more like on the business than in the business, do you plan on bringing on guys to actually kind of do the detailing, the labor side of that, or are you gonna just try to do all of that as well, or like scale that back a little bit?
Well, with us, we really don't scale any, like, we've already gotten to the point where we've scaled back. First off, we don't really work with the normal public as much as we used to. We don't advertise anywhere. We're kind of more of the bespoke type of, we do very few cars a day, maybe one, maybe two, something, if it's not maintenance work. We are very strategic on the clients that we screen and that we take on as new clients. So it has to be under the right circumstances for, like, as you know, some clients can be problematic.
Yeah.
We want the easiest of the easy, like when it comes to operation. If they can't provide on their end of the deal of what we need to do our job to its maximum potential, then we can't work with them. You know, there's certain needs that we have and that make our job a lot easier for us to be able to get the best outcome. So we ask that they provide that, you know, whether it's dropping their vehicle off on time or if we're mobile, having their vehicle placed in an area where we have adequate room, it's unlocked. You know, anything that's going to be any hiccup, we try to make sure
Address that up front.
Yeah, so they kind of understand, okay, these guys have a standard if I'm going to be because we're really building a business relationship with them. All of the business relationships that we have with our clients, they're years in the making. So some of them, we're on their third, fourth vehicle that they've had since we're detailing, you know, like the average person goes through a car, 3.5 years and then they get a new one.
Yeah.
So we have clients that are on their third vehicle since we've been with them. So, you know, some almost 8 years now for some clients. So we want to make sure that every relationship is like that. So being able to, if we have a huge amount of clients, it takes away from that. It's more of a personal service, we say. So as far as scaling in volume, no. Scaling in price, that's always happening. So
we get guys to finish out the labor on that. Very, very unlikely.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, because just for quality control.
That's the tough thing to
Quality
give up,
control.
right? Yeah, that's what's always been kind of keeping me on the fence of expanding and going to that next level is giving up some of that control to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot more than you think that people bargain for.
Yeah.
It's most people's downfall because they don't have the proper to manage individuals is tough. Period. I have over 25 years of management under my belt. My brother has over 20 years. Management is tough. Period.
Yep.
Management remotely, even more tough. You know, and to be able to quality control, check that, make sure that they're doing everything to your standards remotely is kind of tough because you have, you know, it's like a substitute. It's like having a substitute teacher in with a bunch of kids. You know, like there's individuals out there. You just have to, you know, also screening and hiring the right personnel.
Yeah.
Talent management is very difficult, and you know, to acquire the right people. But they're out there, and if you could get them on your team, it can make your life very, very easy, or it can make it very, very difficult.
Yeah. Well, we've been going a while on this video, so I know we probably need to wrap it up here pretty soon, grab some breakfast and get into the training. Is there anything you'd want to say for the detailers out there to take away from this, and like a piece of advice that you could give them?
Just follow the right people, you know? Follow the right people, listen to the right people, take the advice when it's given to you. You know, if somebody's extending out help to you, that was one thing I didn't do in my younger days and even in the career when I first started out. Like if somebody's giving you a helping, like a true honest offering, take it. Take it. You know, Sal, when I first started, Sal got me, you know, Sal and Ricky, they gifted me a generator. And I didn't know I was going to need a generator when I first started, and you know, but it ended up being like a really pivotal part of my business, and it was something that. And at first, I didn't want to. I said, no, it's okay. It's like they wanted to do that out of from their heart. Like,
They weren't looking for anything.
Yeah, like they're like let's help our brother out. Like let's like if somebody's doing that for you, take that. Like they're extending it because they want to see you succeed. They want you to help, and it's not a common thing. You know, like as you go through your business, how many people have given you opportunities and said, hey, I have this or such and such. You never know what that's going to turn into. You know, it could turn into you doing private collections, you know, or you working at a different level, or you traveling to do cars all over the world. You never know what's going to become of it. So if somebody's trying to help you, you know, in an honest way, take it and just kind of be aware of, you know, you're operating a business. So it's a little, you know, take it very personal, but also be professional. Mm-hmm. I think your presence says a lot, and your the way that you handle and conduct yourself says even more.
What about you, Sal? Anything you want to chime in before we cut it out?
Get rid of your headaches. Anything that's giving you a headache, you can fix it. Especially if you're doing this on your own. If you're doing this in your own business, get rid of your headache. Focus on what's giving you a hard time and take care of it.
Yeah.
There's no one else to blame but yourself. If you keep letting these things happen, that's giving you a headache.
Like things that stress you out,
Yes.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Broken things, small things that you're dealing with every day. Oh, my feet are hurting. My feet are hurting. Get some better shoes. Oh, this cable is broken. Get a new cable. Fix those. Anything in your business. This client is killing me. Oh, get rid of the client. There's things you can do. You are in full control.
Yeah.
You're in full control.
Well, guys, before we wrap it up, like I said, we're here at the KCX experience. I've got a lot of value out of it so far, not just with the training and the whole like chemicals and product side, but all the great people that you get to meet and network with. Guys like Sal and Joel here, and many more too. So if you do get the opportunity to check out like this type of training, whether it be KCX or another one, I highly recommend it. It's always a good investment, making the investment in yourself and leveling up your skill sets. All right, guys, wrapping it up here. Check out Details Official. We're going to drop the link below with their socials in there. Check out the merch they got on there, and we'll see you in the next one.